then if you want, you can also recite. It's a long verse, but it's very nice. And the translation is also very nice. And the purport is also very nice. So we are only getting to go into very, very nice. Aham bhavo yagna ime prajesha dakshadio ye bhavad adyascha swarlokapala khagalokapala nirlokapala stalalokapalaha Gandharva Vidyadhara Charanesha Ye Chaksha Ye Yaksha Raksho Raksho Raganaganatha Ye Va Rishinam Rishabha Pitrinam Detrindriya Siddheshwara Danavendraha Anne cha ye preta pishacha bhuta kushmanda yado mriga pakshi adhishaha Yatkincha loke bhagavan mahasvad oja sahasvad balavat kshamavad Shri Hari Vibhuti Atmavad Adbhutarinam Tatvam Param Rupavad Asva Rupam. Anyone would like to recite? No hands. Okay, so I'll carry on.
Normally we don't recite, Mataji, so you can carry on, yeah.
Synonyms: Aham, myself, Brahmaji, Bhava, Lord Shiva, Yagya, Lord Vishnu, Ime, all these, Praja Isha, the father of the living beings, Daksha Adayaha, Daksha, Marichi, Manu, etc. Ye those, Bhavat, yourself, Adya Chaha, Adyaha Cha, and the bachelors, Sanat Kumar and his brothers. Swarloka Palaha, the leaders of the heavenly planets. Okay, then there's going to be like a chain of Palas now, okay? Khagaloka Palaha, the leaders of the space travelers. Nirloka Palaha, the leaders of mankind. Talaloka Palaha, the leaders of the lower planets. Gandharva, the residents of Gandharva Lok. Vidyadhar, the residents of Vidyadhar planet. Charana Isha, the leaders of Charanas. Yea, as also others. Yaksha, the leaders of the Yakshas. Raksha, demons. Uraga, snakes. Naganatha, the leaders of Nagalok below the earth. Yea, others. Va, also. Rishi Nam of the sages. Rishabha, the chief. Pitranam of the forefathers. Daitya Indra, leaders of the atheist. Siddha Ishvara, leaders of Siddhaloka planets. Spacemen. Danava Indra, leaders of the non-Aryans. Anye, besides them. Cha, also. Ye, those. Preta, dead bodies. Pishach, evil spirits. Bhoot, jinn. Kushmanda, a special type of evil spirit. Yada, aquatics. Mriga, animals. Pakshi Adhishaha, giant eagles. Yat, anything. Kimcha, and everything. Loke, in the world. Bhagavat, possessed of bhag, or extraordinary power. Mahasvat, of a special degree. Oja Sashwat, specific mental and sensual dexterity. Balavat, possessed of strength. Kshamavat, possessed of forgiveness. Shri, beauty. Hri, ashamed of impious acts. Vibhuti, riches. Atmavat, possessed of intelligence. Adbhut, wonderful. Arinam, rays. Tattvam, specific truth. Param, transcendental. Rupavat, as if the form of. Ashwarupam, not the form of the Lord. Translation by His Divine Grace Prabhupada Prabhupada Ki Jai. I myself, Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, great generators of living beings like Daksha and Prajapati, yourself, Narad and the Kumars, heavenly demigods like Indra and Chandra, the leaders of Burlok planets, the leaders of the earthly planets, the leader of the lower planets, the leaders of Gandharva planets, the leaders of Vidyadhar planets, the leaders of Charanalok planets, the leaders of Yakshas, Rakshas, and Uragas, the great sages, the great demons, the great atheists, and the great spacemen, as well as the dead bodies, evil spirits, satans, jinn, kushmandas, great aquatics, great beasts, and great birds, etc. In other words, anything and everything which is exceptionally possessed of power, opulence, mental and perceptual dexterity, strength, forgiveness, beauty, modesty, opulence, and breeding, whether in form or formless, may appear to be the specific truth and the form of the Lord, but actually they are not so. They are only a fragment of the transcendental potency of the Lord. Puppet by His Divine Grace Prabhupada ki jai. Those in the list given above, beginning from the name Brahmaji, the first living creature within the universe, down to Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, Narad, and other powerful demigods, men, supermen, sages, rishis, and the other creatures of extraordinary strength and opulence, including the dead bodies, satans, evil spirits, jinn, aquatics, birds, and beasts, may appear to be the Supreme Lord. But factually, none of them is the Supreme Lord. Every one of them possesses only a fragment of the great potencies of the Supreme Lord. The less intelligent men. Okay, now Prabhupada is going to divide three classes of men, okay? Like how Prabhupada usually divides in his purports. So my first class is the less intelligent man is surprised to see wonderful actions of material phenomena. As the aborigines are fearful of a great thunderbolt, a great and gigantic banyan tree, or a great lofty mountain in the jungle. For such undeveloped human being, merely the slight display of the Lord's potency is captivating. Okay, so this is the first class he has described, that who are just very, very captivated by the wonderful phenomena happening in the material nature. But when is somebody is more advanced, a still more advanced person is captivated by the powers of demigods and goddesses. Therefore, those who are simply astonished by the powers of anything in the creation of the Lord without any factual information of the Lord himself are known as Shaktas, or worshippers of the great powers. The modern scientist is also captivated by the wonderful actions and reactions of natural phenomena, and therefore is also a Shakta. Okay, so two classes. Less intelligent is who is captivated by the wonderful phenomena of the material nature. More advanced is who can see that there is demigod and goddesses behind that phenomena. But both of them have one thing in common, that they're captivated by the powerful display. So they're called Shaktas, the worshippers of the power. Prabhupada continues, these lower grade persons gradually rise to become Shauriyas, worshippers of sun god, or Ganapatayas, worshippers of the mass of people, as Janata Janardhan or Daridra Narayan, etc., in the form of Ganapati. And then rise to the platform of worship Lord Shiva, worshipping Lord Shiva in search for the ever-existing soul, and then to the stage of worshipping Vishnu, the super soul, etc., without any information of Govind, Lord Krishna, who is the original Vishnu. In other ways, some are worshippers of race, nationality, birds, beasts, evil spirits, satans, etc. The general worship of Shani Dev, the lord of distressful condition, or Sitala Devi, the goddess of smallpox, is also common to the mass of people. And there are many foolish men who worship the mass of people or the poor class of men. So different persons, societies, and communities, etc., worship some of the potent manifestations of the Lord, wrongly accepting the powerful object as God. But in this verse, it is advised by Brahmaji that none of them is the Supreme Lord. They are only borrowed plums from the original Almighty Lord Shri Krishna. When the Lord advises in Bhagavad Gita to worship him alone, it is to be understood that worshipping Lord Krishna includes worshipping all that is mentioned, because he, Lord Krishna, includes everyone. When, this is the second when, okay, the first when is when Krishna is just advising to worship him, and the second when is when the Lord is described as formless in the Vedic literatures. It is to be understood that all these forms mentioned above within the experience of universal knowledge are different exhibition of the Lord's transcendental potencies only, and none of them factually represents the transcendental form of the Lord. But when the Lord actually descends to the earth or anywhere within the universe, the less intelligent class of men also mistake him to be one of them, and thus they imagine the transcendence to be formless or impersonal. Factually, the Lord is not formless, nor does he belong to any of the multi-forms experienced within the universal form. One should try to know the truth about the Lord by following the instruction of Brahmaji. Okay, we'll cut down the puppet, okay? So, Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite. तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी पृष्ठानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंदा. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. नमामि विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशदायिने. Here, let's read the translation. I myself, Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, great generators of living beings like Daksha and Prajapati, yourselves, Narad and the Kumars, heavenly demigods like Indra and Chandra, the leaders of Bhurlok planet, the leaders of the earthly planets, the leader of the lower planets, the leaders of the Gandharva planets, the leaders of the Vidyadhar planets, the leaders of the Charana planets, the leaders of Yakshas, Rakshas, and Uragas, the great sages, the great demons, the great atheists, and the great spacemen, as well as the dead bodies, evil spirits, Satan, Jinn, Kushmandas, great aquatics, great beasts, and great birds, etc. In other words, anything and everything which is exceptionally possessed of power, opulence, mental and perceptual dexterity, strength, forgiveness, beauty, modesty, opulence, and breeding, whether in form or formless, may appear to be the specific truth and the form of the Lord. But actually, they are not so. They're only a fragment of the transcendental potency of the Lord. Okay, we are reading from second canto, which is called as the Cosmic Manifestation, chapter number 6, which is called as the Purusha Shukta Confirmed. This chapter is confirming Purusha Shukta. And we are reading, it's towards the end of the chapter where Lord Brahma has described various and has answered the 6 questions that Narad Muni asked in the previous chapter to Brahmaji. And after describing the creation, who is maintaining, how it is dissolved, where are the ingredients coming from, so on and so forth, he's basically telling that none of them is God. Okay, don't get mistaken that, okay, this creation is because Brahma created, so he can, speak like this. He knows every nook and corner of the creation. Like, for example, in your house, you can tell if that in which cupboard or in which closet, which portion of the closet, which corner, what is laying down, right? Like that, Brahma can tell that there are these big demigods, big exceptional exhibition of powers, but don't get mistaken, because none of them is the Supreme Lord. Actually, they're just a fragment of the transcendental potency of the Lord. Krishna says the same thing in Bhagavad Gita, in 10th chapter, where he explains 82 opulences of himself. And then he says to Arjun, this is just like a display of the fragment of what I actually have. So let's dive into some of the slides, and then let's go from what's happening. So in the beginning of the purport, Prabhupada is explaining, like, there are so many, we are worshipping, right? The common factor is we have to worship, but we are worshipping different things in different consciousness. Krishna mentions this in Bhagavad Gita. So I'll just I'll just display this here. So 17th chapter Bhagavad Gita, the chapter name is the division of the faith. In the first 7 verses, one's mode determines one's activity, faith, and worship in the modes. I just want to focus on that. So Arjun is asking this question to Krishna. You know how Narad is asking question to Brahmaji? Like that Arjun asked this question to Krishna. Arjun uvacha ye shastra vidhim utsrajya yajante shraddhayanvitaha tesham nishtha ka Krishna sattvam aho rajastamaha. Arjun said, "O Krishna, what is the situation of one who does not follow the principles of scriptures, but worships according to his own imagination? Is he in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance?" What is, okay, you have explained a very nice method of worship, but what if somebody doesn't do that? Somebody is worshipping this Scientology or flying spaghetti monster or whatever. Where are they? So Krishna answers, Shri Bhagavanuvacha, Trividha bhavati shraddha dehinam sa svabhavaja satviki rajasi chaiva tamasi cheti tam shunu. The Supreme Lord said, according to the modes, Trividha bhavati shraddha. Trividha bhavati, that means there are three. Three means three. Vidha bhavati shraddha. According to the mode, shraddha is faith one has acquired. So, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: Satviki, Rajasi, Chaiva, Tamasi. Satviki is goodness, Rajasi is passion, Tamasi is ignorance. Goodness, passion, and ignorance. Tamas Cheti Tam Shrinu. Now hear from these. Hear about these, about these. Mhm. So Krishna wants us to know that not everybody is a cookie cutter. We are not cookie cutters. We are individualized. And what is defining our individualization in terms of everything, including faith and worship, is what kind of mode is most prominent in us. I like this diagram. So we go clockwise. So in red is Kami. Kami means who is desirous of enjoying the material world. So because they're most prominently influenced by the rajas or passion, so they think work is a mode to get my desires met. Okay, so they work and then they earn their living to satisfy the desires. They also do some rituals and sacrifices and charity, but the ultimate goal is I want to end up in the heavenly planet, so Swargalok. Okay. Now, better than that is sattva or mode of goodness, which is jnani or which is in knowledge, right? Sattva good or mode of goodness is predominantly defined by one who is in knowledge. So knowledge of that this world is not good. So they work towards mukti or liberation, and then they generally want to become impersonal or Brahman effulgence. They want to merge in the Brahman effulgence. But higher than that is Shuddha Sattva or pure goodness, where lies bhakti or devotional service. And then the last stage is prema, which leads us to Krishna. Okay, so these are the different modes. So this Prabhupada is mentioning that somebody is worshipping the ghost, is a wonderful display of power. Somebody is worshipping the sun god, the Ganapati, the Shani Dev or Sitala Devi. What is defining? What is happening there? And Krishna, now one question I have before we go there, if you remember reading the purport, that Brahmaji is ultimately saying at the end, okay, he's saying that none of them really matter because none of them is, they may appear to be specific truth in the form of the Lord, but actually they're not so. You know, it's like on a TV show or something, somebody dresses up as a as a neurosurgeon and they're like displaying that on the screen. But actually, if you go behind the screen and talk to the person, they're just actor. You know, they're acting it out on the script of somebody else. So, but it appears to person who is not so intelligent, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm gonna go get my head operated on by this surgeon. But I'm not. So basically, that it appears that these are exceptional display of power is the Krishna, but actually it's not so. It's actually just a fragment of the transcendental potency of the Lord. So this is one way of teaching. Okay, we can learn from Srimad Bhagavatam how to study and how to teach. So one way of teaching, this is one way of teaching is where learn everything. Okay, learn everything how the material world is organized, what are the ingredients, who's supplying, who's the supplier, who's the manufacturer, who's the distributor, who's the maintainer, who's marketing, everything. Learn everything, but then just to know that there's something higher than that. Don't get stuck in the middle. You know, Krishna explains this in 15th chapter Bhagavad Gita, where the banyan tree, he's comparing this world to a banyan tree. And he is very intricately describing the parts of the banyan tree. The leaves are representing Vedic hymns, the fruits are representing the results, you know, the twigs are representing sense gratification, this is representing that. But then he says, actually, you cannot understand where is the beginning and end of this tree. But what you can do, take an axe and cut this tree Right? That's what he says. What is this? Hriday nachitva. Sat, I'm forgetting the complete words, but I remember Hriday nachitva. Just cut it out. Don't try to understand. So Brahmaji has explained the whole dynamics, very complicated, very difficult to understand. But then he's saying, actually, don't worry about it. There's something higher than this. So my question is, what is the need to learn everything, huh? If why can't we just learn the highest? What is the need to learn everything and they say and then this and then say that, oh, actually there's something higher? Why can't we just go to the highest? Why do we have to do? What would you say? Sukhav Mats, please unmute yourself.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. My understanding says that we can only learn or understand Supreme if we go stepwise, see what he's doing, what his powers are, how these all these things happen, and then after all these things, if we okay, if we don't remember or don't go too deep, but at least if we know the basics of it, then we know exactly how powerful that personality is who has created all these things,
Very nice.
It's
Yeah.
easier.
Very nice. Yes. So okay. Yeah. That's very nice understanding. Okay. Very nice. So what Sukhav Mataji is saying that understand this because then we'll be able to understand the how powerful Krishna is. The value will increase. Okay. Anyone else? I thought of three reasons. We're speculating three reasons. There is one now. Yes. Anyone else? Why can't you just like learn about Krishna and go to Krishna's Vrindavan Leela and Krishna's birth and why so much Mahatattva and whatnot and whatnot? Anyone else? Okay, so yeah, so one is this. Okay, then if we learn the power, then we can actually understand and how powerful Krishna is. Yes, the value of the highest will increase. Okay, and the other thing is that we'll be able to develop a firm conviction because sometimes it may appear that maybe Krishna is not that powerful. Krishna can protect me, but he can only do this much. He can't do everything. Huh? But if you understand, actually, Krishna is moving the sun. We're reading in nowadays in Bhagavatam the movement of the sun in 5th canto, 21st chapter, and it says, when the sun moves, day and light move with him. The seasons moves, the breeze moves, everything moves. We are also moving, right? Everybody moves from one place to another place. But when we are moving, is the day and light moving with us? Anybody here who can say that I move, so the day moves with me, then I sleep, then it falls night? No. So sun is so powerful, and is moving, but actually Krishna is even more powerful than him. So we'll be able to develop the firm conviction that this is right, that Krishna is God, because everybody is under him. And then the third thing I thought was that the attraction for something less will diminish. We can get attracted by the powerful display or the beauty, the opulence, the forgiveness, the fortitude. There's so many, mental and perceptual dexterity, everything. But it becomes okay. You have it because Krishna has given it to you, but actually it is coming from Krishna. Okay, so the value of the highest will increase. Sukha Mataji, please go ahead.
Yeah, so once I did ask this question to Guru Maharaj as well, that Guru Maharaj, is it necessary to, understand all this complexity of how this world is made? And he said that it is, in a way, not necessary for a devotee, that we can develop slowly by our process, Krishna conscious process, we can develop the bhakti and love for Krishna anyways. But if you want to, if suppose some materialistic is arguing and they're saying, oh, this is what it is, this is what it is, for the preaching purpose, you should know these things. So that was another one I wanted to, it just came to my mind. So I said, I will just let you know that this could be one of the reason as well.
Yes, I will add it as a fourth reason. Yes. So the value of the highest will increase, and then we will be able to develop firm conviction, and attraction to something less will diminish. And also, preaching for the preaching purpose will be able to lead the person to the higher platform. And it is true because Prabhupada, when he took his disciples to India for the first time, if you hear his lecture, he says that Prabhupada says that these devotees have not come to India to see your skyscrapers. They have seen it enough. They're after me, they're after Mayapur. What is the attraction? What is it? Because they've seen enough. They're rich. They're from very opulent countries. The attraction is Krishna. Okay, so they've not come. So Prabhupada has said that. But also there is another reason which actually is, you remember that this conversation has been given to Parikshit Maharaj by Sukdev Goswami, and Parikshit Maharaj has 7 days left to live. I often ask this question when I read Bhagavatam, that if I have 7 days left to live, would I want to know how Brahma created, who is Shirdaksha Vishnu, how is sun moving, what are the seven dvipas, where is Sumeru mountain, Manasotra? Do I want to know all that? Do I want to? I have 7 days left to live. So, yeah, there is a meaning, okay, because Sukdev Goswami is a spiritual master, and spiritual master is never going to do a superficial job. Okay, he's going to remove the roots of attachment. So Krishna says this is in Bhagavad Gita. Please forgive me if you think this is unrelated to the topic, or if you think it is related, I'll be happy to hear. It says, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha Man Maya Mam Upashitaha Bhavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Mad Bhavam Agataha. He's saying being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, taking refuge in me. Many, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. This, okay, if I'm moving to Krishna, I have to be free from raga, bhaya, krodha. Vita means free. Raga means attachment. Bhaya means fear. Krodha means anger. So if Sukdev Goswami is saying this, if Parikshit Maharaj is even a slightest of question that I was a king, I had such big opulence, I was ruling the whole planet, I'm going to leave behind all this, then the attachment is cut off. Because Krishna is saying that one has to be free from attachment, fear, and anger and fully absorbed in me. He's not gonna, he does not want the mind to be occupied by anything else other than him, which actually includes everything. Being with Krishna includes all emotions. Because I just thought we'll go a little deep in this verse, that raga means strong attachment to material life, which leads to negligence of the spiritual life. Free yourself. Say, okay, I'm going to worship this demigod so that I can have more opulence. I'm going to worship this demigod so I can go drink somaras. There's no attachment to that kind of a worship. Bhaya, or fear of personal spiritual identity, for them merging into impersonal is highest. Right? The Mayavadis are fearful of the personality. So because they're too absorbed in bodily concept of retaining personality after liberation from matter frightens them. Okay, so impersonalists compare living entities to bubbles in the ocean, which merges into the ocean. Krodha is conception of void resulting from frustration of life, becoming angry at all sorts of spiritual speculation out of hopelessness. And then they take to intoxicants. Okay, accept hallucinations as spiritual vision. So Krishna says, free yourself. So if we understand the construction, the dynamics that Brahmaji is telling us, and then he's saying nothing else is Krishna, it is just a display of one little fragment of Krishna's potency, then we can free ourselves from all these knots. And Krishna is saying the same thing, free yourself. This life is about getting free. When we are actually walking in Krishna consciousness, you can see at some point in your journey, you can see that the material life is shrinking. There's nothing much remaining. Huh? For a person whose field of activity is material world, there are so many things to be done, so many places to explore, so many restaurants to eat out at, so many food channels to go, so many fashion designing clothes to wear, so many. I'm not criticizing, I'm just comparing. It's an observation. So much jewelry to wear, so many shows to watch, so many drinks to have, so many. But actually, due to Krishna consciousness, I don't have any. The material life is shrinking, but it's like a bottleneck. Okay, material life is shrinking, and then we open up ourselves to a very big spiritual vision. So we are actually freeing ourselves, freeing. People in material concept get very fearful of devotees. Huh? They feel sorry, right? They feel sorry for us. I'm so sorry that you're missing out in the joy of life. I'm so sorry that you can't have this wine. It's so nice. Prabhupada said, old wine in a new bottle. These enjoyments we have had in many lifetimes. I'm actually going to relish something. And we feel sorry for them. I'm so sorry that you are leading a life like that. So there's a verse like this. I think it's second chapter Bhagavad Gita, verse 69. What is night for a devotee is day for a non-devotee, and what is day for a non-devotee is the night for a devotee. They both cannot understand each other's position, and they both feel sorry for each other. But if we understand the construction, or this, but from the main civil engineer, the Brahmaji, then we can understand that I can actually, take my attachment, my fear, or my frustration to something higher. I don't have to be playing this tug of war anymore. Because I just want to explore Prabhupada's purport. So Prabhupada is dividing. Is there any question or concern at this point? Okay, so Prabhupada is dividing three classes of people, right? What I could infer from the purport. He's writing the less intelligent man is surprised to see the wonderful actions of material phenomena, as the aborigines are fearful of a great thunderbolt, a great and gigantic banyan tree, or a great lofty mountain in the jungle. For such undeveloped human being, merely slight display of Lord's potency is captivating. So basically, they're captivated by the power, forgetting that there is a powerful personality behind. I remember Janki Nath Prabhu giving this class in Boston Temple. He says, okay, if you see a very nice painting in your temple, will you be curious to know who painted it? That means there is a person behind it, right? It just colors didn't collect itself and made a painting like that. So like that, if somebody is higher than just getting attracted to the powerful display, then that person will ask, who made this? Whose design is this? Thunderbolts or banyan tree or big lofty mountains. When you go there or you cross by, it says, oh my God, this is Krishna's display of power. And then Prabhupada is writing, a still more advanced person is captivated by the powers of demigods and goddesses. Therefore, those who are simply astonished by the powers of anything in the creation of Lord without any factual information of the Lord himself are known as Shaktas, or worshippers of the great powers. Okay, Shakti in Hindi means power, and then Shaktas is worshipper of that power. So the modern scientist is also captivated by wonderful actions and reactions of natural phenomena, and therefore is called Shakta. Scientists cannot understand how, if you study the syllabus that the children study, like in biology in school, they are starting with the cell, one cell divided into two cell, two divides into four, four divides into eight, eight divides into 16, and then each cell will have its own nucleus, own mitochondria or ribosome. Each cell will, okay, they're very captivated. Oh my God. And then the cells collect, and then the organs are formed, and then the blood starts flowing, but they cannot get to the soul, huh? So they're captivated. It's Indra is sitting on Airavata and has some Vartaka clouds, and it's very powerful. Guru Maharaj explained once that you know how powerful demigods are. He said, the way I love his lecture. This is the lecture in Chicago he gave. That he said, when you see a small insect or cockroach in your house, you know that you are so big and that particular insect is so small. If you're not Krishna conscious, you can just crush it, right? Like that we are for those demigods. We are like small insects crawling here and there. They're so powerful. So okay, or and then he's saying these lower grade persons gradually rise to become Shauryas, worshippers of sun god, or Ganapatiyas, or worshippers of Ganapati. And then if they go even higher, then they rise to the platform of worshipping Shiva. Because He's a topmost Vaishnava, right? In search of ever existing soul, and then to stage of worshipping Vishnu, super soul, but without any information of Govind or Krishna, who's the original Lord Vishnu. So this is Konark temple, the Sun temple in Konark, or this is Jyotirling in Somnath temple. The very opulent worship goes on, but then we don't have information that who is behind all these demigods. Everybody is controlled by Supreme Personality of Godhead, directly or indirectly. Okay, I think that's what. Oh no, I have one more slide. Sorry. And then says the different persons, societies, communities, etc., worship some of the potent manifestations of the Lord, wrongly accepting the powerful object as God. Right? But in this verse, it is advised by Brahmaji that none of them is the Supreme Lord. They are only borrowed plums from the original Almighty Lord Krishna. And Krishna advises in Bhagavad Gita to worship him alone. When he says that, it is to be understood that worshipping Krishna includes everything. It's not alone. So he's includes. Krishna is complete whole, like Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnasudachite Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Avishishyate. It's complete. So he's a complete unit. So when we are going to worship Krishna, we're not going to miss out on the worship of other demigods or any other Vedic ritualistic rituals or rites. Okay. So in this particular verse, what I understood, or what I wanted to share, was that that this is very interesting to me personally. That first you explain everything. Narad Muni is asking 6 questions, and all the 6 questions, if you study intricately, are about the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the material universe. Brahmaji could have said, okay, we'll address that, but let's go to Krishna first. But no, he is actually answering each one of Narad Muni's questions in great detail, so much detail that today also we are scratching our heads, what is what, right? But then at the end, he's saying that that this is not Krishna. I am not the supreme. I am only a secondary creator. The primary creator is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So it's like, why not go to Krishna first? So we discussed the reasons why not go to Krishna first. And then we discussed that how Krishna himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita that one needs to be free from raga, bhaya, krodha, attachment, fear, and anger to come to him. So understanding the construction and the dynamics of the material world help us to free ourselves from those particular unwanted emotions that bind us to the material world, and really explore ourselves in a very spiritual dynamic environment. So we can go ahead. And then also his Prabhupada is also very elaborately describing in the purport that how one is in the lowest mode, who's just worshipping the powerful display, then comes to the worship of the demigod and goddesses, then comes to the worship of Lord Shiva, and then Vishnu, but you have to ultimately go to Krishna, who is the origin of everything else. So basically, we are not going to miss out on anything if we just go to Krishna, but understanding the creation, the visarga, the secondary creation, is going to help us get more attached and get more curious about Krishna. We get more curious at who is this Krishna. Like if you go to Sukhava Mataji's house, Guru Maharaj always tells me she's a very good cook. So whenever he sees me, he says, you should learn cooking from her. Okay. So I'm like curious, like what does she do? What does she do that she's a very good cook? Like that you get curious that who is this Krishna? That is like become bringing forth so many things. So many powerful display, must be really powerful. Who is he? I think I'll stop here. Any questions, reflection, realizations, or corrections, complaints?
Thank you so much, Mataji, for explaining this complex verse very nicely and easily. Your slides are amazing, always, as always. Um, any dear devotees, please, if you can put your cameras on, and if you have any questions, please ask, raise your hand, and ask the questions, or else you can put it in the chat as well. Do you want to stop sharing, Mataji? Is it
Yeah.
okay? Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Yeah, please, if you can put your cameras on and ask questions.
Or complaints or reflection.
Yes, Krishna
Krishna
Kavira.
Kaviraj, Hi Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to you, PremKishori Mataji, and all glories to all of the Vaishnavas. I was thinking about your words on the importance of reading, not just reading, but understanding what you're reading and absorbing what you're reading. And we hear Maharaj talking about this repeatedly, the importance of everyone should read. Everyone should read. They're not reading enough. But at the same time, we also hear him at other times, we hear him like repeatedly stressing the importance of the chanting. Everyone must chant. Everyone must chant with more absorption. Everyone must chant better and more. And chanting is so important. It's the most important. And then at other times, he's talking about devotee association is the most important. Everyone must get plenty of devotee association. It's most important. And then at other times, he's talking about devotional service is so important. And the list continues. And then sometimes you just get lost because thinking you try and do everything and you try and do everything, but you do everything rubbishly, it feels like.
So are you asking me to put it in a hierarchy or
Oh, I'm not sure if there is a hierarchy. I'd just, if you have any words of advice, put things into perspective.
Okay, so let's try. By the way, it's very funny though. Thank you. So, it's really, really nice. It's really practical and it's really there. Then what do I do first? Okay, so it is very important. Like Krishna mentions at least twice in Bhagavad Gita, I can say that we have a constitutional nature and we have a conditional nature. And he mentions in second chapter and he mentions in ninth chapter. So, and both have to be balanced. It's not that okay. If I have a fractured bone, I'm just gonna chant Hare Krishna and my bone. I don't need to go see orthopedic doctor. I have to do both. I have to do both of them. Both of the things are important as long as I'm here. So, and he also mentioned that everybody is forced to act according to one's own nature. It is better to, do a work even imperfectly than trying to copy somebody else's duty, right? He says that in Bhagavad Gita. So all these things that you have mentioned, association, chanting, reading, devotional service, they are all, the same. They are all on the same trunk of they're all on the same tree. The trunk is same, and they're all on the same tree. But then who is going to do what? Like, for example, it depends on one's own practicality of life. Okay, so what is most important for me? The most important part is my morning sadhana. If I can do that morning 2 hours very very rigorously, then everything else flows. Everything else is like okay, it's not a struggle. Otherwise, we struggle. For somebody, it could be like really, really sitting with a devotee and associating and really answering and getting the answers or revealing the heart, which motivates them and then motivates them to do the other limbs of bhakti. Or for somebody, it could be like, okay, I want to do the service. I want to, if you come to Gita Nagri and you meet Dhruva Maharaj, who's a temple president, for I have never asked him frankly, but what I've observed him over the years is that the cows are most important for him. If you don't know where Dhruva Prabhu is, just go to the cows. He'll be there. So it's not just about the cows. It's like he can actually tell the moods of the cows, the vocabulary, how they're actually serving the Damodar. We cannot see all those things. I cannot, but he can. So for him, it's like if the cows are maintained, then his chanting is flowing, his association is flowing, his reading is flowing. So it is like, so again, we're not cookie cutters. Everything is important, but what is most important depends on one's own psychophysical nature. And Krishna gives intelligence, right? Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. I give the intelligence to one who wants to come to me. So we are not alone. Okay, so everything is important, but what is most important, and then what makes other things flow. If this association was not important for me, I wouldn't have read it. The reading happened because of the forthcoming association. If Krishna consciousness was not important to me, then I wouldn't be chanting. Right? So, like that, what is most important for you? Feed that. Feed that very nicely. What is it called as? You have to know your own Nishchin Krishna consciousness individually, and then take it to everywhere else, wherever we go, upper planet, lower planet, middle planet, wherever, London, America, India, Japan, Hong Kong, whatever, Timbuktu. So, but, but I would say that will be my 2 cents, that be very, very confident and aware of what is most important for you. Feed that, and everything else will flow. Like I heard one lecture when one devotee was asking Sir Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj that, reading 1.5 hours every day is impossible. Maharaj said, yes, it is impossible for me too. So they said, what do you do? He said, I modified the rule for me. I don't read 1 hour every day. I have like made it 5 to 7 hours a week. You see? So we are meeting the goal smartly with a lot of intelligence. I don't know if it makes sense.
No, that's nice. That's helpful, actually, yes. Because I think I was on the right track, but every so often devotees say, oh, you should do this, you should do that. But then, yeah, my mentor said, like, don't worry about too much about what everyone's telling you to do. Doing the right thing, just keep going.
So there should, there's some rules in communication, if I may, if you allow me to say this. Should is a very restricting word. There's no growth. You say you should do that, and so, oh my God, there's no choice. So, but the better way is like you can choose to do this also. You can choose to do that also. But should is like, even when we talk to ourselves and say I should. Oh my God, I feel like so heavy. Like there's nothing else remaining.
Yes.
But I want a life filled with choices, options, variety. But should is like, oh, no. I'm like kind of like allergic to the word now. So
Yes, used very often, though. Yes.
change it. Be the change you want to see in the world, right? Gandhi's saying, change it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for such a nice questions. They're
Hello.
very practical, very practical. And thank you, Mataji, for lovely practical advice as well. That's so nice.
It's a sharing. I'm not advising. I'm sharing.
Still, it was good help, definitely, for everyone. Yeah. Because it is like, even in Keshav Maharaj's class only, I heard once that he says that, in Krishna consciousness, we trick people. In the beginning, we only say, oh, eat prasadam, chant, dance, and you're fine. That's all you have to do. And people come in, and then we say, oh, you have to do this as well. You have to do this. You do devotional service. You read. You study. Blah blah blah, and then you get so overwhelmed with the stuff thrown at you, and you think, "Oh, where have I come? Is it something what I wanted?" And then that's exactly what you say, that you've got choices to do, and you can select what is there. Yes,
Yes.
he explained this very nicely as well. But yeah, very
Nice.
nice. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Any
And
other questions? Any other questions anyone has got? Please ask. Shilpesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept obeisances or goes to Srila Prabhupada.
accept my obeisances.
Not really a question. Just want to say thank you for coming again and giving us a class. I enjoyed your Bhagavad Gita series you did for us.
Oh.
A year ago. And I really like the answer you gave to Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu. It's really good because sometimes we feel very lost in Krishna consciousness. Like we're making all the endeavors, but we feel stuck, and we don't know where we're stuck. But like you said, feed the thing I think we enjoy most in Krishna consciousness, and the other parts will fall into place, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we need each other. No, every day I feel stuck. Every day. He says, okay, unstuck me. Oh, so that is there. It's very nice. That means you're on the right path if you feel stuck. Thank you. Yeah, I think I've been wanting to do Isopnishad series also. I don't know, and ask Guru Maharaj.
Oh, is it? That'll be so nice.
I know.
I remember last time you
Nectar
mentioned.
of Instruction and Ishopanishad will be amazing.
Nectar of Instruction, Guru Maharaj gave a very like vigorous time frame. He said, do like 8 days, finish it, and then but he wants to include Bhakti Aloka, like Bhakti Vinod Thakur Prabhupada's commentary. I got scared. I never followed up. We preach. I probably will. Isopnishad is a little mild, even though they're like, I think 18 mantras. So let's see if we can. I think if it will be okay with everyone here, we can do that.
Of course. We are always ready for your slides. And it's amazing. Like, when you did Bhagavad Gita, as Sri Krish Prabhu said, I appreciated it so much. It was such a nice thing.
Thank you for all the encouragement.
Can I ask, like, sometimes we feel overwhelmed with all the classes and everything. So how do we, like, pick and choose? Like, for a few days, I wasn't well this week, and I actually stepped back for a few days, which actually kind of enlivened me more, because eventually when I did listen to the classes, like, oh, I miss being on the classes. Sometimes we go through these phases, sometimes when we're just not well, we're sick or something, and it's not easy even to chant at those times. But maybe you could give some advice about that.
Yeah. So we do, because we are limited in capacity, and the more I'm growing older, more I'm realizing the capacity is limited because the commitment is limited from me. Okay, because if the commitment increases, the time expands, everything happens. But yes, because you see, every varna and every ashram has different responsibilities. A sannyasi is not going to send children to school or go earn money or pay the bills or do the things. But if what they can do and they can do perfectly, it will help other varnas to do what they have to do perfectly. So for me, the overwhelming usually happens if I start to compare my service for what my capacity of what I can offer to other devotees. Subconsciously, it was happening at a subconscious level, but I caught it that, oh, this is what's happening by Krishna's mercy. That, okay, it's I go to Gita Nagri and I see these devotees like since 3:30 in the morning to like 7:38 in the night continuously. They're worshipping Krishna, they're Damodar, they're with cows, they're doing this. And here I am, then I do this 2 hours of chanting, then I go to work, then I have to send kids to school, I have to maintain a house, and I have to cook, I have to do grocery, I have to clean. That, wow, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I? And material life is overwhelming. It is overwhelming. So that, okay, I need a breather because I cannot. I spoke to my friend and she said that this is where you are at this point in life. It's not gonna stay like this, but where do you want to be in few years is what is up to you to decide. It's up to Krishna to sanction, but you have a desire. You can desire in a way. So if we have to figure out what's overwhelming, I'm giving you a principle based answer. I'm not giving you a personal, because I don't know what's overwhelming for you specifically. I can say that it sometimes the health gets bad and that's overwhelming. Sometimes a near and dear one needs attention and that gets overwhelming. Sometimes the service itself gets overwhelming. You see all the time in the temple that the devotees are like, we need a break, we're tired. So instead of judging and saying, oh, you need a break from Krishna conscious service and I'm the one who wants to be there. So basically, like, I'm better than you. Well, that's also overwhelming because the guilt is overwhelming. So what do? Guru Maharaj told me that schedule your day, schedule and see what you can do. And also know what you cannot do. Know both for your own self, because Krishna consciousness is a very personal phenomena. He's available to us personally. The very personal phenomena. And if we are going to generalize that personal phenomena, then we will waste a lot of energy, we'll waste a lot of time. I was preaching this girl and she was telling me, and she said, don't you think I'm like stupid? I said, why would you say that I'll think that you're stupid? She said, because I keep talking all these things and look at you, you're directing me. I said, when I'm looking at you what I was 21 years ago. I'm not looking at you what I am right now sitting here. So it takes time. It takes time. So don't get overwhelmed by my feelings. Just guard yourself and let's talk about you, because it's about you. I don't know if I gave the answer. And sometimes just taking a break, connecting to reconnect, going to the dham.
I think what you're saying is like have self-compassion on yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. If understand yourself, when we go to other devotees and other devotees tells us something like this, your friend tells you something like this, what would you say? Oh, you are so dumb. You have no ability. Oh my God, you can't even do this. How can you get overwhelmed by something like this? You won't say that, right? You'll say, okay, let's write down, let's see what's there, and then let's take it from there and be kind to yourself. We're very unkind to our own selves.
Very true.
But Krishna doesn't want that.
True, true.
Thank you.
Thank you. Krishna
Krishna
Kaviraj.
Kaviraj, yeah, go for it.
Krishna. Now, sometimes it goes beyond just being overwhelmed. Sometimes it feels like you get into these like spiritual sickness, if you like, or you're actually questioning whether you even want to do this anymore. And devotees go through it, but it's rarely discussed and talked about. But what should someone do when they reach those points? Because that's the last time. Talking to devotees is the last thing that you actually feel like doing.
So one thing which I have learned is that we have to make a decision to rejoin the movement every day. That today, am I going to, be a part of ISKCON today? Am I going to be a part of Prabhupada's army today or not? Every day, every single day. I ask this question to myself, that do I want to do it today? And what happens is that we sometimes, yes, because we see other people who have been practicing for so long, and then something happens and then they're not in that position anymore, or the guru falls down, or we don't get that much of a reciprocation from other devotees and we feel hurt, or feel rejected, we feel ignored, right? All these things can come up. So at that time, the question is, what was my reason to come here? My reason. That's how I ask myself, what is my personal reason to come to Krishna consciousness, which is not dependent on someone else's growth or someone else's behavior or someone else's relationship with me. What brought me here? So there are four kind of people who come to Krishna, and we might fit into one of the fours. But then Krishna says the highest position out of the what are the four kind of people who come to Krishna? Artha, Artharthi, Jigyasu, and Jnani, right? Artha, search of money or in distress, is curious or looking for a truth, the absolute truth. So we might have come because of distress, because of wanting some material desire, because of curiosity. But he says Gyani is the highest. He says, who really, really want to know me. So and we all will fit into one of the four categories. Not all, most of us will fit into one of the four categories. But then we eventually have to bring ourselves to the highest category, which is which has to be not. So if somebody else's fall down shakes us up, yes, it shakes us up. Yes, somebody else's very good friend behavior there, if they cheated on us in any way and we feel that we have been wronged, and this place was supposed to be a place where I was supposed to feel safe, and this is Krishna's movement. Krishna is God, Krishna is powerful, Krishna is truth. So why there is so much of falsity here, right? Those things can come. But then what will keep us is what brought me here. Where am I in my own journey? And am I supposed to stay here or am I supposed to leave? We can leave. There's the option is always there, but do I want to leave? So basically what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to cut those attachments. Cut, like that. Like I am here because I want to be here. Okay, I feel sorry that I have had these experiences, but Prabhupada has compared ISKCON to a hospital. He's not saying it's, it's a picnic place. He's saying it's a hospital. So we're patients. Every patient has different degree of disease, different intensity, different treatment regimen. Right? So what kind of a patient have I become now? It's the question. Okay. So be internally motivated more than externally motivated. I don't know if I addressed it.
Thank you. Yes, that's helpful.
Krishna.
I think Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu, His Holiness, Keshav Maharaj's little clip, I'll send it to you, in that he has exactly said what you are asking us. We have to check our spiritual health every day. How we are doing. I'll send that clip, share that. It's 6 questions he says that we have to ask ourselves. Are we still enthusiastic? Are we still I forgot all 6, but yeah, it's really nice.
Can you share with me too?
Yes, I will share. Sure. I'll put it in the group only so everybody can have that. It's amazing, and he said it is so important that we need to do this every single day. It is not physical health is important, spiritual health is most important as well for us, especially for devotees. Yeah.
Like we have to do that with our other relationships also. Do I want to
Yes,
continue to be a
yes.
parent every day? Do I want to be married? Do I want to be called as a daughter or son of this person every day?
But do we have a choice?
We always have a choice. We always have a choice.
Well, if we are parent, we have to do our responsibilities.
Oh, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. I work as a pediatrician. I can tell you stories.
Oh, yeah, I really want to talk to you, but later on. Yes, Mataji, Drupti Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, you're muted.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, my Dandavat Pranam to you, and my all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Welcome. First time I am listening to you because I think just over 1 year ago I joined these classes, so I haven't seen you. Maybe you have come, but I missed you. But wonderful class. Thank you so much for your detailed explanation and very enthusiastic about the certain passions and things like that. I love the Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu's questions because those are my questions as well. And I keep saying in this group, I've said it as well, that obviously I am not a fast reader. I'm a slow, medium pace reader, but because when I read in other language, like English, like literature, like Bhagavatam or Gita, it's much slow. I'm much slower, but when I read it in my language, in Gujarati, I understand it, and that's what I started doing now, and joining those Gujarati classes as well. But also when they say about this, you have to read, you have to chant, you have to associate, you have to do devotional service and all that. And yes, I know it can be overwhelming, but I personally, because I am how should I say? Well, I'm very enthusiastic and I'm very passionate about things, what I want to do anyway. So when I decided that I'm going into Krishna consciousness, and when I joined, I went full force that I want to do everything. I don't want to like do slowly, because I know I'll be lazy if I do that. So I just jump in with everything. So I do everything, but I do everything slowly, you know.
Oh, did she fall off?
Yeah, I think Mataji's internet has gone, looks like it.
Oh, okay.
Question. Any other devotees? Have you got any questions? You can even type in the chat and I can read for you.
Veronica Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances always to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for this class. Oh, Trupti Mataji is here. I can wait.
No, please. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That but I do everything, but I do on a my pace, like how I like. No, I don't want to. I can't read 1 hour every day, but I have said, okay, I'm going to read 5 pages every morning after I read my Bhagavad Gita. I read something else for 5 pages, and I chant my Sri Shastakam, and then but I have to do my japa in a Brahma Muhurta, otherwise I can't concentrate. Otherwise, as soon as the light comes, so I do it, but in a slow. But yes, these are my always questions as well. That how do all these senior devotees do it, and where they reach with all this knowledge and intelligence? And I started late, so I keep feeling that I'm left behind now. I haven't got much time to do all this. When am I going to read all this material? When am I going to do this? When I'm going to do that? So that is always my question. So have you explained, Mataji? It's quite it's very good and it's very practical. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
But one thing is that goal is not to become a scholar. The goal is to remember Krishna.
Yes.
If you're meeting the goal, then even if you don't read, Krishna will cover up.
Yes. Thank you.
For me, for everyone.
Yes. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Veronica Mataji.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this class. Thank you all, Sukavaha, for her service always. And thank you for that, for all the class, of course. But that image that I didn't know, because I'm very new in Krishna consciousness, about the hospital, you see, it is very useful for me, and to ask myself how my spiritual health is going every day. It's something that I will do, because up to now I understand I am very ill. But by the mercy, I feel blessed also. So I think I am in the stage that I cannot get out of this hospital now, because you see, I think I need I need this everyday connection. I need to be connected all the time. I know you know, many devotees tell me that they are in the same stage and everything, but I realize I'm very new. So thank you for being there, and this image will help me to stay more calm about my stage. You see, not to treat me bad, to say, because my ego says no, but you see that I should be, or because you understand, you should be doing that, and to be more calm. No, so passion, to be more calm and grateful. I am in the stage. I think the last time that I asked Maharaj one question, because I am normally I'm quiet, because my English is not so good, and I think I need to listen, not to talk, you see. But the last question, one of the last questions that I could make to him, he told me, I am in the stage. So I said, okay, yes, eat prasada, be grateful. You see, but so thank you. That image of the hospital is very useful for me now. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for reflecting. I want to tell a story. It's not a story, it's actually a real thing. On terms of what Veronica Mataji is saying. Is it okay if I take 2 minutes?
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then we can stop. So,
Yeah.
in North America, we have this Bhaktivedanta Medical Association where we had a retreat few years ago, and one devotee was sharing that how basically I'll tell the event. So he said one time my shift was about to get over. He was an internal medicine doctor and works in a hospital. And they got a patient with some 30-year-old lady who had a breast cancer, had the mastectomy done, and the stump was infected. So infected that you cannot be nauseous even with the mask on because of so much of pus and infection in the skin because of the radiation. And he had to admit her to treat that infection. So he said the nurses were wearing 2-3 masks on and were still very nauseous because of the smell that was emanating. So he went, and then he discovered that that young girl, the 30-some-year-old, was actually a scholar from Johns Hopkins and was actually doing a research in inventing a novel medication for fighting the breast cancer that she herself got. And it was a lethal kind of a cancer. And then she was like saying that she said that just keep me alive for enough time that this medication becomes FDA approved, then I'll be fine. Then I'll be fine. So he said, okay, I mean, we'll try. It's God who will keep you alive, but we'll try whatever we can do. And then he said, as I was leaving the room, it just happened that why don't I ask her if I can spend some time with her to read Bhagavad Gita every day? She was an atheist. Then he said, I'll take a chance. So he asked her, can I after the end of my shift, can I sit with you 10-15 minutes every evening until I have one more week of service anyway, to read you some Bhagavad Gita? This is like a holy book and we just try to understand God or life from other perspective. So he said, what do I have to lose? She'll say no, well, let me ask. So he asked. And interestingly, she said, yeah, sure, no one is anyway visiting me because of the infection. So yeah, sure, that's fine. So he started doing that, and he just sat with her every evening she was there for over a week. So his service got over after a week. But towards the end of the last day, he gave his copy to her. And then she was a complete code. She was very frail. She was very weak. She had nothing remaining in the body, was fed by tubes, but she was still a complete code. Complete code means that if the patient crashes, then we do everything. Like we do chest compression, we do complete resuscitation, airway, vasopressors, like everything. So it's very intense. So she was complete code. And then she said because she wanted to be alive until the drug is invented, that was her. And then after a week, his service got over. She was still admitted. And after 3 months or so, he saw his wife he saw her husband in the hallway of the hospital. And he said he just stopped the husband and said that, so how's your wife? How is she still reading Bhagavad Gita? How is she doing? So the husband told him that actually she passed away, and I'm here for getting her death certificate from the hospital. And interestingly, after you started reading Bhagavad Gita to her for 7 days, she kept reading the book and she became very absorbed. And then slowly she said that I don't want to be a complete code anymore because I'm not the body anyway. So don't resuscitate me. And this is something which I was looking for all my life. So basically she passed away. So at the right time, like this few days remaining towards the tail end of one's life, she got this. So how can she possibly finish all the scriptures and everything, but she got the right mercy, right time, right attitude. So it was like very touching, he shared this with us.
It's so touching story.
I
And
know.
that tells something. No, that tells something, that a power of Krishna. And if we actually continue to read and understand, it cuts all our attachments so easily. Definitely, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Is one of I've shared that link of Keshav Maharaj's thing, and one of the question was that, do you really feel that you're going to go back to Godhead? Do you have that faith in you? So that faith will take us back. We have to keep it.
You know the definition of the word emotion? Do you know the meaning of the word emotion?
You can say. There are lots of
It's a
definitions.
Latin word, actually. Prabhu? Okay, what is
No,
it?
I was going to say a lot of people say it means energy in motion. But
What, Prabhu?
energy in motion.
Energy in motion. Yeah, very close. Yeah, very close. Yeah, so it's a feeling that puts one in motion. So emotion is a feeling that puts one in motion. So unless and until we really feel that I'm walking on the right path, I will not have that emotion. So it's a bona fide definition, okay? I'm not making it up. Okay? Look up.
I've heard that as well. Yeah, it's really true. And then our Bhagavad Gita is so practical, and Krishna's teachings are so practical that it does help, definitely. So yeah, thank you so much for today's class, Mataji. Yeah, I think we have gone 19 minutes over, but thank you for your time.
Thank you for
Thank you so much for all these nectar sharing with us. Will it be possible to share these slides as well?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
I'm happy to.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I hope I become more regular in attending rather than just giving. Sorry.
Yes, definitely. We would love to have your association.
Please do come.
Please join us.
Do come and share your nectar, share your all these stories as well, which are very, very useful. Because yesterday Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu said in our Sangha that stories are more interesting than when you read and remember story, you remember, and then you can connect that. So,
yes.
It's the practical stories, how to apply practically in your life, and I find that really
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Her Grace PremKishori Mataji ki jai.
All Vaishnavas ki jai.
And His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Okay. You will go offline from YouTube, right?
Yes. We can connect. I've shared my number if you want to save that.
No, offline from, we are live streaming this class. So
that I will do it. That's fine. That I will do that. No problem.
Thank you. I'll send you the slides. Hi Krishna.